I would be remiss if I didn't mention an important challenge for my country to able to reap the benefits of regional cooperation. This challenge is being linked to the ongoing occupation by Armenia of the territories of Azerbaijan, in blatant violation of international law and the relevant resolution of the UN Security Council that has been a heavy human toll, forced hundreds of thousands of civilians to leave their homes, led to the destruction of considerable parts of the country's infrastructure, and continues to pose a serious economic burden. I would like to conclude by emphasizing that Azerbaijan is open for a constructive dialogue and cooperation in LLDC framework with a view to further contributing to the socio-economic prosperity in the region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Azerbaijan, for those remarks. I would want now to move to the next item on the agenda, which is the declaration. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, Armenia. Sorry, Armenia. I did not see Armenia was. But please, Armenia, you've got the right of reply. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It wasn't my intention to speak here today on this subject, but the recent statement forced me to make a few comments. I have to remind the August Assembly, as well as the Speaker, to read more carefully the history, to clarify for themselves who is the aggressor, who has started the war, who has started the occupation, who was the first to start killing peaceful Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh, and as a result of which they got the situation that they have. I must also remind that we have both our foreign ministers here in the city, at this, in the same venue, in this building somewhere, and it's probably a good possibility for them to discuss these issues directly during the bilateral talks. And that is even in case the neighbors are sincere in their willingness to find a solution and not just to raise issues at this meeting which have nothing to do with the realities on the ground. The reality on the ground is true in a way that Azerbaijan really has a real, very strong cross-border activity in the form of snipers shooting across the border, killing peaceful civilians on the other side of the border, turning the sniper shooting into artillery, shelling, thus killing even more people. So the activity is definitely there. But the question is whether this kind of cross-border activity is what our meeting or the LLDC are called to bring upon each other's or neighbors. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Armenia. I see that Azerbaijan is raising the flag to Azerbaijan. You have the floor.
I'm sorry to take the floor. Delegation of Azerbaijan only stated the facts, whereas the delegation of Armenia blatantly distorts the information and never refers to facts. Historical remarks that was made by delegation of Armenia is a complete false. And I would like to bring to the attention that it has been many times that my delegation have brought to the attention of the entire LDC group, notoriously brought to the attention, that Armenia occupation doesn't help the entire region to develop. Armenia occupation of Azerbaijani territories blocks LDC country to develop, to nourish its full potential, full transport and transit potential. I'm confident that careful reading of the relevant international documents would convince the representative of Armenia to refrain next time from taking the floor and making irrelevant comments. It's simply disappointing that the representative of Armenia has once again used this opportunity to make groundless, illegal, and propagandistic statements. The question is, how long does this member state plans to mislead the international community by falsifying facts? The fact is, Armenia occupies 20% of Azerbaijan. The fact is that Armenia exercised cleansing of population, both at home and on the occupied areas of Azerbaijan. The fact is, Armenia disrespects, ignores, and completely blocks numerous resolutions of UN Security Council and General Assembly, which required immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian forces from the occupied territories. So we invite Armenia finally to commence to respect norms and principles of the Charter of the United Nations and international law and start implementing the UN resolutions. Thank you.
Thank you, Azerbaijan. I see Armenia has raised the flag. Armenia, you've got the right to reply, please. You've got the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I cannot accept someone...
And just to mention, Armenia, that this is the...
Clear.
This is the last.
Clear. We've been in this exercise for a long time. We know it by heart. Thank you. And I don't think that is something that the rest of the chamber is willing to hear, but unfortunately this is the reality. I would just remind a few facts of the history. 1998, people of Nagorno-Karabakh peacefully, through their parliament, decide to be independent, as was the right of Armenia, as was the right of Azerbaijan, as was the right of many other people in Soviet Union to decide, secede from Soviet Union and be independent based on their truly legal right to be of self-determination. No one has ever rejected the right of self-determination of peoples, and I believe the fact that the membership of the United Nations has risen from 51 founding states to 193 is basically also thanks to self-determination. So people of Nagorno-Karabakh want self-determination peacefully, not attacking anyone. The result of this is Azerbaijan starting massacres against the Armenian population in Baku, Sumgayit, Kiroabad, turning this into a large-scale war against the people of Armenian population of Nagorno-Karabakh. Where is the Armenian aggression here? I cannot see at all. So there is no logic absolutely in the Azerbaijani so-called facts. The fact that the war ended up in the loss of Azerbaijan is the reality. But the reality is also the fact that Nagorno-Karabakh has never been part of Azerbaijan except the Soviet rule. But Azerbaijan itself has been part of Soviet Union under Soviet rule. So Nagorno-Karabakh has never, is never, and will never be part of Azerbaijan. The fact that no Azerbaijani government has the right legally, historically, politically, economically reject the right of peoples to self-determination to the people of Nagorno-Karabakh is simply annoying. Instead of engaging in direct dialogue in the framework of the OSCE Minsk Group, as is being conducted during the last 20 years, Azerbaijan is engaging in this kind of strange accusations. We have had peaceful ceasefire established since 1994, and since then many numerous violations of the ceasefire regime has killed many people. This is very sad. This is the unfortunate result of what's going on. But the fact that the Security Council resolutions that was mentioned here should also be mentioned that the resolutions call upon Azerbaijan to stop the fighting, to stop the attacks on the civilian population of Nagorno-Karabakh. And there is nothing in the Security Council resolutions that are addressed to the Republic of Armenia. Furthermore, in 1994, with the adoption of the ceasefire, all of the requirements of the Security Council resolutions have been fulfilled. Since then, United Nations, the Secretary General of the United Nations has mandated OSCE, OSCE Minsk Group, and its co-chairs in the name of France, Russia, and the United States to mediate peaceful solution. So I leave the Assembly to decide which are the facts and who is falsifying the history. Thank you.
Azerbaijan, you've got the right to reply.
I'm sorry to take the floor again, but since the delegation of Armenia didn't leave any choice, I would like to enlighten the audience to to just open the resolutions which I have just cited and see the facts for themselves. And I will just list them as it is. Again, speaking about only facts and not trying to falsify and mislead the entire international community. Instead of such ungroundless complaint, please, we invite you to look through the UN, Security Council resolution of 8022 of 1993, 8053 of 1993, 822, 853, 874, and 884. Only after implementation by the Republic of Armenia of the aforementioned resolution can we ensure full-scale economic and transport cooperation in our region. And as to the historical facts, so-called historical facts just mentioned by the Republic of Armenia, it's absolutely clear evidence that Nagorno-Karabakh and 7 adjacent districts that was occupied by the Republic of Armenia always were part of Azerbaijan and never belonged to Armenia. Just the fact that there were Armenians living in the territory doesn't entitle them to commit crimes. The government of Armenia, which has purged both the territory of its own country and occupied areas of Azerbaijan of all non-Armenians, demonstrated once more that there should be last ones speaking on such notions of peace, human rights, and self-determination. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we've just heard Azerbaijan's